Hello, Rankrats. We're back with some more Buffalo Sabres franchise mode in FHM 12. And in the last one, we went through the offseason following our first ever Stanley Cup victory for your Buffalo Sabres. We didn't do too much in terms of moves this past offseason. We acquired Jake Evans through trade from the Pittsburgh Penguins to fill in for Peyton Krebs, who left for free agency because he was asking for too much money. We signed Maxim Berezkin as a 2.5-star ability winger. So some good depth there with Evans and Berezkin. And then we also re-signed players like Ryan McLeod, Gavin McKenna, Konsta Helenius, and Zach Benson to contract extensions. So they're all locked up long-term. But what is going to be an ongoing concern going throughout this season is the contract status of Luukkonen and Levi. They are both up for extensions this year. Levi wants $5 million, I should say, for 3 years. And then Luukkonen wants 6.6 for 7 years with a no trade clause. So currently I'm leaning towards Levi as the guy moving forward because over the past 3 years, he has had some pretty solid save percentages. Year number 1, he had a .916 in 25 games played. Year number 2, he had a .905 in 23 games played. And then last year in 51 games played, he was the main starter last year with Luukkonen struggling. He had a .908 save percentage and 6 shutouts. And if we take a look at Luukkonen, he was good the first 2 seasons. He had a .913 save percentage in year number 1 in 30 games played. He had a .909 save percentage in year number 2 in 65 games played. But then last year in only 35 games played, he had an .891. So currently I'm leaning towards, like I said, I'm leaning towards Levi being the guy going forward, but we'll see what happens throughout the first half of the year 4 simulation before we really commit to either of them here, but I'm thinking it's going to be Levi. I'm pretty sure it's going to be Levi at this point. So with that said, let's get one more look at the roster and then we'll get underway with the year 4 regular season simulation. So in goal for the time being, at least you have Levi and Luukkonen. On defense, you have Dahlin, Evans, Byram, Faber, Marino, Kesselring, and Morrow. At forward, you have Thompson, McKenna, McLeod, Ostlund, Benson, Lehkonen, Evans, Helenius, Greenway, Doan, Geertsen, Berezkin, Nuchev, and Wood. So for the most part, besides Evans and Berezkin, this is basically the same roster that won us the Stanley Cup. So let's see if we can do it again. Well, we're on December 1st. We're 15-6-2. This team is great so far, for the most part. As we go into the roster, we'll check the stats here. Thompson with 20 points, 11 goals. Nothing unusual about that. That drops down to 14 for Helenius and Benson, 13 for McLeod, 12 for McKenna and Evans. I wish McKenna was doing a little bit better. Ostlund, Doan, and Evans with 11, Lehkonen with 10, Berezkin, Morrow, and Marino with 9. Then you have Nuchev and Greenway with 8, Dahlin and Faber with 7. Dahlin could be doing a bit better, especially considering what he did last year. You have Byram and Geertsen with 6, and then Kesselring with 4. And then in goal, the big question is, well, it's pretty clear. I think it's pretty clear who we're going with into the future here. Devin Levi in 10 games played with 3 shutouts and a .941 save percentage. And UPL in 13 games played with 1 shutout and an .896 save percentage. Yeah, it's pretty clear. I think it's pretty clear at this point. So what we're going to do, I will re-sign Devin Levi. Now he wants 4.75 for 3 years, but that's fine. I'm perfectly fine giving him that. And I got him down to 4.33 for 3 years. I will absolutely do that for Levi with how he's been performing. And as for UPL, well, he's going on the trade block. He's proven over the past couple of years that he's not consistent enough to be our number 1 starter. So we're definitely going to be exploring trade options for him at this point. And then I think once we move on from UPL, we're going to call up Scott Ratzlaff. He's a 2-star ability now, 3-star potential at 23 years of age. I think he deserves a look. Unfortunately, UPL does have a no trade clause on his current contract, so we're going to be limited to these 10 teams here. All right, so Anaheim needs a goalie. Florida also needs a goalie. Toronto needs a goalie, and that's it. So Toronto, Florida, and Anaheim. Although it looks like Anaheim has their starting goaltender mostly covered. Lucas Dostal has a .901 save percentage in 19 games played. Is a 3.5-star ability. What about Florida? Florida is in desperate need of a goaltender. They have 2 1-star goaltenders in, I'm not even trying to pronounce that name, and then Jasinner, both of which have less than a 900 save percentage. So I think, obviously, Luukkonen's no different, but maybe they could benefit from having that 4-star ability goaltender there, at least for 1 season. All right, so they could do this. UPL, the rights to Jordan Gavin, a 6th and a 7th for the first round pick in 2029. I mean, we'll see where Florida ends up in the standings, but regardless, that's a pretty good trade for us. Yeah, I mean, I don't see any reason why we shouldn't do this. So offer trade, we'll see what they say. And there it is. The Florida Panthers have accepted our offer of Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, a 6th, a 7th, and the rights to Jordan Gavin in exchange for a first-round pick. Complete trade. There you go. So UPL has now moved on. And what we're going to do now is call up Scott Ratzlaff and see how he does as the backup. So there you go, Levi. It is officially your net to lose at this point. So I hope you can keep up what you've been doing for the past 2 seasons here, or really the past 4 seasons. He's been phenomenal so far throughout this franchise mode, and I hope that continues here. So I guess with that being done, we can move on to probably the trade deadline. Well, first major injury of the year, Benson out for 1 to 2 months. You don't like to see it. I have a really good feeling about Helge Pedersen. I cannot believe he dropped to number 32. He's looking really good so far. Let's take a look at his development. As physically, his agility's gone up, his speed's gone up, balance has gone up, strength, fighting, and then mentally, his team player's gone up, his leadership has gone up. Offensively, his passing has gone up from a 13 to I believe that's a 15 and over the course of 2 months. And then offensive read's going up, shooting accuracy is going up. Then defensively, checking's gone up, positioning's gone up, defensive read has gone up to I think that's a 17, and then hitting is up as well. So I have a really good feeling about Helge Pedersen. He's looking really good so far. And he's only 18. He's only 18, already a 2-star ability. I have a really good feeling about him. Okay, so we're on February 1st now. We're 35, 15, and 3. Everything's looking pretty good in terms of our record. We have a solid playoff position. We're at 73 points, second in the Atlantic, right behind Detroit. I think for the most part, this team is pretty good. I think if we do anything at this trade deadline, it's just going to be to upgrade backup goaltender because Scott Ratzlaff does not appear to be doing it in 2 games played, an 860 save percentage. So I'm probably going to end up looking for a backup goaltender. But besides that, this is a really good team. But I think before that, I want to re-sign some of our players and just see what everybody's asking for here. So Lehkonen is asking for 4.9 for 3 years. I don't know about that as a 33-year-old. I might be willing to do 2 years for him, but we'll see. Nuchev, 1.4 for 2 years. Yeah, I mean, that's a pretty good deal for him. What's he been doing so far? 18 points in 53 games played, 64 grade. He seems to be pretty good defensively. He's got that 65 defensive grade. So yeah, I'll renew him for that. That is a pretty good contract for him. And then Josh Doan, he currently has 18 points on the season, 53 games played, 62 grade. Pretty good defensively. What does he want? He wants $4 million for 3 years. That is a little much. So I think I'm going to hold off on him for right now. Gertson, 3.8 for 2 years. That's kind of a lot for him. He only has 11 points so far in 39 games played, 58 grade. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to do that for Gertson. Jake Evans, 4.1 for 2 years. So far, he has 27 points on the season in 51 games played, 62 grade. Pretty good defensively. He's got the 68 defensive grade. If he'll do 1 year, then I'll give him a contract. I'll go 4.5 for 1 year. No, all right, how about 4.7? He's down to 3.9 for 2 years. He really wants that 2 years. I'll go 4.9. All right, that works for him. And then Kesselring, so far in 28 games played, he has 10 points, 62 grade, 70 defensive grade. He wants 3.7 for 3 years. That's not bad for him. And then Scott Morrow, 22 points currently in 37 games played. He has a 72 defensive grade as well. Definitely want to re-sign him. He wants 4.7 for 3 years. I will give him, or at least I'll start at $4 million. And I managed to get him down to 4.48 for 3 years. So I think Lehkonen, if I could get Lehkonen for a 1 year contract as well, then I'll extend him. Okay, he at least came down to 2 years. That's not that bad. I guess I'll give him 2. I'll try to take him down in salary further. And I got him down to 4.65 for 2 years. I mean, currently that's not bad for Lehkonen. But the question is, though, is he going to age well over the next 2 years? He's got a great defensive category. I love that about him. He's still got that 15 aggressive forechecker rating. Yeah, I'll submit this offer to him. And I think I'm going to make a trade with Chicago here for Drew Camiso. He's a 26-year-old goaltender, 2-star talent, currently buried in the ECHL. So I figure he can't be that hard to trade for, right? I'll just give him a 7th. I'll just give him a 7th and then the rights to Ruotsalainen. We're offering way too much. So we might be able to get another draft pick back here, right? Yeah, so actually, this is like negative value. Okay, so we could get a 5th as well, but a 4th is too much. All right, so the rights to Ruotsalainen in exchange for Camiso and a 5th. I'll do that. All right, there you go. Nuchev, Lehkonen, Evans, and Morrow have all signed new deals. And the Chicago Blackhawks have accepted our offer of the rights to 31-year-old Arttu Ruotsalainen in exchange for Drew Camiso and a 5th round pick, complete trade. And so I'll send down Ratzlaff And we'll see what Camiso can do. Now we effectively just have Kesselring and Doan to re-sign. How much money do we have going into next season? Well, we're currently at 78 million, 78.3 million. That's quite a lot, actually. I believe the ceiling's at 95.5, right? So, and on here it says we have 27.1 in cap space for this season. But next season, we're already down to 10.1 million. And that's probably due to the extensions of guys like McKenna and Elenius. Now, the thing about Kesselring is that he's been scratched more often than not. It's not like he's been injured at any point this season, really, besides that one brief injury for 4 days. So, I mean, he's good when he's in there. 10 points in 29 games played in a 62 grade, and he's pretty good defensively as well. But it appears that he's our 7th defenseman more often than not. Yeah, because you have Morrow, Faber, and Marino as well. And then how much did he want? 3.7 for 3 years. I mean, that's better than Marino. He's a bit younger than Marino as well. But I think Marino might be better defensively. Let's see. Let's compare them. Offensively, it looks like Marino might be slightly better, even if only for that 17 passing. Defensively, I would have to give it to Marino because of the 16 defensive read compared to 14. Physically, I mean, they both have different strengths with their physical ratings. You have Kesselring with a 17 balance compared to 14 balance for Marino. And then Kesselring also has the 16 strength compared to 14. But then Marino also has 17 agility compared to 13 agility for Kesselring. And then mentally, they're pretty equal as well. So at least currently, I would have to give the nod to Marino. That said, he is earning 5.5 for 2 years, and he's also 2 years older. He's got the 15 two-way defenseman rating, and then Kesselring has the 14 stay-at-home defenseman. Yeah, I think I like Marino a little bit better. So I don't know if I'm going to re-sign Kesselring. And then Doan, 4 mil for 3 years. I mean, that's just kind of a lot for where his role is at this point. He's a 14 grinder rating. I'm pretty sure he's on our third line currently with Thompson and McKenna. Why are Thompson and McKenna on the third line? I'm going to see if I can take him down to 2 years. So I'm going to start at 1 year. Now he really wants that 3-year deal, it seems. So he would take 3.88 for 3 years. Is that worth it for Doan? He had 12 points in last year's playoffs, 63 grade. He currently has 19 points in 54 games played. He had 45 points last year. Hit-wise, he has 65 hits so far this season. He had 120 last year. You know what? Next year, we're probably going to end up having Aram Olsen slot in anyway. I don't know if it's going to be worth it to keep Doan around, because I do have a feeling we're going to be bringing Aram Olsen over next year along with Stenberg. He's currently at a 2.5-star ability. So yeah, I'm not sure if we're going to re-sign Doan either. But honestly, I want to hold on to him for the playoff runs. So I think we just accept the fact that we're going to lose into free agency most likely, which is all right with me. So I think with that, so the trade deadline is actually February 28th. It's not in March this season. But like I said before, I don't think there's anything I really want to do anyway. I mean, unless Camiso doesn't work out, in which case we'll try to find another backup goaltender. But otherwise, I think we're going to just advance straight past the trade deadline and into the playoffs. And now Zach Benson has returned to the lineup, so that's good news for sure. Yeah, Camiso's not working out either. 831 save percentage in 4 games played. Yeah, I guess it makes sense why he was in the ECHL then. So I think now I'll give the chance to Ryerson Leenders. He's a 2-star talent as well. Currently has a 904 save percentage in the AHL. We'll see what he can do. And then, of course, I will send down Camiso. All right, so we're at the trade deadline, February 28th now. And Ryerson Leenders, 3 games played, 867. Oh, boy. This is going to be a bit of a struggle, isn't it? Trying to find a decent backup goaltender here. It looks like he did well in his first game there against Montreal. He had a 962 save percentage on 26 shots against. Then he had a 913 against Tampa. But then against Toronto, he let up 7 goals on 26 shots against 731 save percentage. So he had one stinker in there. So I think I'll give him the benefit of the doubt because he had a solid first 2 games. Unfortunately, it seems Levi has fallen back down to earth here as he's now at a 911 save percentage. Before he was at like a 940 something, I think. So, I mean, I guess that makes sense, but still, hopefully he doesn't fall down too much. And hopefully he can maintain some stability here as we get towards the end of the season. And unless we lose a drastic amount of games here to end the season, I think our playoff position is pretty secure at this point. So what we're going to do, we're just going to advance straight to the end of the regular season, and then we will check all the stats. All right, we have finished the regular season 51, 29, and 4. Good enough for 106 points and second in the Atlantic Division. So now let's take a look at the player stats to end off the season. You have Tage Thompson, in 77 games played with 41 goals, 69 points. So it doesn't appear anyone really took over the scoring this season, at least not in terms of points. Then you have McKenna with 31 goals, 66 points. Oslin with 64, Helenius with 63, McLeod with 51, Byron with 43, Dahlin with 41, Evans with 39, Lehkonen with 36. Then you have Benson and Evans also with 36, and for Benson, that's in 54 games played due to his injury. Then you have Doan and Faber with 33, Greenway with 29, Morrow and Marino with 28, Nuchev and Beryaskin with 27, Gerson with 14, Kesselring with 13, and Wood with 5. In goal, you have Levi in 57 games played with 8 shutouts and a 907. So Levi definitely fell off towards the end there. Hopefully he's able to recover to where he was before in the playoffs. And then you have Leenders in 13 games played with the 888 save percentage. Not a great look. He had 1 shutout. Camiso in 4 games played with the 831. And then Ratzlaff in 2 games played with the 860. So goaltending this year, besides Levi in the first half of the regular season, was not great. But, you know, it was good enough at the very least to get us in the playoffs. All right, let's see the team stats. Goals for per game, we are 9th in the league with a 3.36. Goals against per game, we are shockingly 4th in the league with a 2.7. Faceoffs, we are 28th in the league with a 48.2. Power play, we are 3rd in the league with a 19.8. And penalty kill, we are, oh boy, 31st in the league with an 82.8. So the penalty kill is certainly unfortunate. But, you know, for the most part, this is still a pretty good team. I do have some concerns going into the playoffs, mainly being Levi's performance, his recent performances, for the most part, have not been great. You have this game against Edmonton at 889 save percentage, 852 save percentage against Vegas, 759 save percentage against Boston, and a 750 against Pittsburgh on 4 shots against, then a 727 against Detroit back in February. So some stinkers for sure. But hopefully he can get back to the way he was at the start of the regular season when he was just absolutely tearing it up. And then obviously the penalty kill is also an issue, but part of that also falls on Levi, right? So like I said, certainly some concerns, but all that matters right now is that we're in the playoffs. This is a completely different season from the regular season, and we have the opportunity to fix what went wrong during the regular season. So that said, let's advance and see who we have in the playoffs. It should end up being Florida. As yes, indeed, we have the 48, 28, and 8 Florida Panthers in the first round of the Year 4 playoffs. So that being said, we'll end things off here, but not before I thank the channel members. Thank you guys so much for all your support, and I'll see you guys in the next one when we look to repeat as Stanley Cup champions.